These albums have been claimed to be some of the worst in the genre, and I'm going to specify on these. I'm BuzzStuffBasics, back from another video today. I'm doing a new little addition to my channel of Random Album Reviews, the terrible Random Album Reviews, if you will. Now, I have gone online and see what many people consider the worst metal albums of all time. You know, famous ones like Saint Anger and Virtual Eleven. However, I'm not going to include those because A, I've already heard of them, and B, there's actually quite a few good things on it. Also, Black Sabbath's Forbidden, but we don't talk about that one. Anyways, I went online and I compiled 8 albums that have been, that have been called everything but a child of God, being called the worst metal albums of all time. So, if you guys haven't watched my other videos, and you haven't watched what my quick update video is, which, by the way, I'm doing a lot better now, guys. Seriously, I had a good night's sleep. I had a pretty good, convo with my dad, even though that he went to bed early last night, but I digress. I'm doing a lot better, and I'll be back tomorrow on social media on Monday. I just had to get some, things cleared up and give my mind a rest. But I did listen to these albums. The first 4 albums I listened to is Diabolus and Musica by Slayer, Cult of Frost, Cold Lake, Octagon by Bathory, and I just listened to Dio's Anger Machines. 2 of these albums I like, and 2 of them I completely agree are utter garbage. But let's get into this now. We start off with Diabolus and Musica by Slayer, released in 1998, if you will. If you guys don't know who Slayer is, then what the hell are you even doing here? They are the most extreme band of the Big Four. The Big Four consist of Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. Slayer are by far the heaviest out of those bands. With evil atmospheres and creepy interludes and just bombastically insane drumming. This album is when Slayer went nu metalish. Now, nu metal was kind of the new thing of the 1990s. Slipknot came into form. Bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, and all those other bands. They were stroking everyone off while they were listening to their own brand of, undivided attention. While Slipknot is one of my favorite bands, I kind of dig this album for what it is. People say this is the worst Slayer album if they didn't include Undisputed Attitude, which is a covers album. And people say this is the worst Slayer album because it's nu metal and they didn't really like the direction that Slayer was going. I kind of like this album because, yes, I'm a Slipknot guy and I kind of listened to nu metal growing up. This album is great, guys. You got Tom Araya on bass and vocals, Kerry King on guitar, Jeff Hanneman on guitar, rest in peace, brother, and Paul Bostaph on drums, who would replace Dave Lombardo. And Lombardo wouldn't come back until 2006 on their Christ Illusion album. And Lombardo, I think at this time, joined Testament on The Gathering album in 98, or 99 actually, which is a pretty damn good album too, by the way. This album, again, people say it's not Slayer, it's groovy and too nu metal-y. There's also some thrash on here, folks, so let's just go by the track listing. Bitter Peace, very slow but very, very thrashy. This is a great, great, great song here. Death's Head, kind of creepy. This album is atmospheric as all hell with the nu metal, direction that they went in. State of Mind, it's groovy but very, very catchy. This is probably the best nu metal song on the whole album. Overt Enemy, it's kind of boring. It's kind of a filler track. Perversions of Pain got a creepy, creepy, creepy solo. It's like dun 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 dun. The may sound like a Looney Tunes guitar solo, but I digress. Love to Hate, it's got some cool riffs on it. Desire has major Slipknot vibes off of it. I don't know about you guys. And In the Name of God's kind of filler. Scrum is kind of groovy. Screaming from the Sky is very thrashy. Wicked is filler. And Point is meh. People kind of like that song, but I thought it was meh. Overall, I'll give this a B-. I like this album. I really, really enjoyed this album. Is it the worst in Slayer's discography? To many people, yes, but I don't think of my personal opinion. Again, I might have to do Slayer ranking at some point. This is a good album, and people need to, open their eyes and open their ears and say, hey, this album's pretty damn good. Oh dear. For every good album, there has to be a shitty one. Cold Lake by Celtic Frost, released in 1988. Tom Gabriel Warrior on vocals and rhythm guitar, Oliver Amberg on lead guitar, Kurt Victor Bryant on bass, and Stephen Priestley on drums. If you guys don't know who Celtic Frost is, they were part of the second wave of black metal way back in the 80s. They released Morbid Tales, Emperor's Return. They released Into the Pandemonium and that fantastic album Into Megatherion. This is when they went glam, and oh sweet Christ, this album has been ranked a very bad album and a very, very low point. I highly agree. This is a terrible album. In terms of AOR and glam, this is a pretty damn good record. As a band that helped, gave Move It to extreme metal, this is the ultimate low point. And there's some people that actually enjoyed this record. Oh, hi, Jam and John from Falls of Metal. I didn't see you there. I'm kidding. I love you guys from Thralls of Metal. You guys are awesome. But seriously, John, what the hell? Therefore, I don't understand why you ranked Altars of Madness at number 6 on your Morbid Angel ranking. But again, I digress. So, let's just get into this shithole of an album. Human 2 has rapping in it. What? Seriously. This terrible track. Seduce Me Tonight. Cringe. This album is very cringy because it does not fit with Celtic Frost. Oh my lord. Petty Obsession's bad. Once They Were Eagles is terrible. Cherry Orchards, what the hell am I even listening to on this album? Juices Like Wine's forgettable filler. Little Velvet filler. Blood on Kisses is bad. Downtown Hanoi, holy Christ, somebody put a freaking noose on me. My God, this is terrible. Like, Downtown Hanoi, I don't want to hear that. Oh my lord. Dance Sleazy, why? And Roses Without Thorns is shit. Terrible album. It gets an F. What else would you expect from an album of this magnitude of horseshit? Let's calm ourselves down. Let's talk about Octagon by Bathory, released in 1995. This is the predecessor to their other thrash album they made a year before, Requiem, which I really like. I really enjoyed, actually. If you don't know who Bathory is, they were basically the Judas Priest of black metal, which, as I stated before, Venom is the Black Sabbath of black metal in terms of they formed it. And before anybody says anything, no, Bathory did not, start the black metal movement. Or they started the black metal movement, but they didn't found it. Venom was the first ever black metal band. If you don't believe me, listen to their self-titled black metal album, or Welcome to Hell for that matter. Listen to Don't Burn the Witch. If that don't sound like black metal, then I don't know what is. So basically, Bathory was formed by Thomas Forsberg, aka Quorthon, and just went on a tear in the early 80s, early to late 80s, with the self-titled, The Return, Under the Sign of Black Mark, and that fantastic Bloodfire Death. And then kind of went on the Viking metal, trend with, Hammerheart and Twilight of the Gods. Then he made 2 thrash albums, Requiem and this album, Octagon. Then they kept, doing, kept going forward with kind of the Viking metal experience with Blood on Ice, which was released a year later, which is a concept album. Then he released Destroyer of Worlds in, I think, 2000 or 2001. I think it was 2000, I believe. Then Norland 1, Norland 2, and unfortunately Quorthon would pass from an apparent heart attack in 2004 when he was already making black metal material. Very, 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 very bad timing by the Q man, but wow. This album is unlistenable. Not because of, the songs. This album is literally unlistenable because of the dead as air production. Court Thuns on vocals and guitar, Kothar on bass, and Vorth on drums. We start off with Immaculate Pine Tree Road, number 930. Immediate Saint Anger vibes. This has very Saint Anger vibes off of it in terms of the production. Jesus Christ, the production is ungodly, terrible on this album. Born to Die, the drums and guitars are way too loud. Like, seriously, it's kind of like Rick Rubin nowadays. No disrespect to Rick Rubin, but what the hell, man? Very, very bad. Psychopath is Sociopath sounds like it should have been on Requiem. Gray, it sounds like Oscar the Grouch on drums. Century's kind of groovy. 33 something is kind of thrashing. I think that was on the Jubileum project. I think when the between the Bloodfire Death and I think Hammerheart, I believe, albums. It's either that or Blood on Ice, I'm pretty sure. War Supply, filler. Schizo Sanity. What the hell are those vocals? Seriously. Judgment and Prosperity's got a pretty cool solo. And then The Deuce. The Kiss album cover, or Kiss cover. Oof. Not a good album. It gets a D-. It gets a D- and not F because there's a couple decent tracks, but bad production. And if you guys will excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm back. I had to go use the restroom real quick. Anyways, yeah, Octagon by Bathory is not a very good album. I kind of agree with the folks here. And then we get to Angry Machines by Dio, which was released in 1998. 96. I'm an idiot today. Man, I was very off at work yesterday because, man, I was very slow in terms of my brain, the gears weren't connecting. But anyways, Angry Machines released in 1996. Dio on vocals, Tracy G on guitar, Jeff Pilson on bass, Vinny Appice on drums, and Scott Warren on keyboards. This has been one of the most controversial Dio albums in terms of people seem to like it, or this is the worst Dio album that, Ronnie James has ever done. I'm more on the first part of that camp right there. I think this is a fantastic album with a couple instances of filler, but not every album is going to be perfect. People say that, the industrial elements kind of kill the album a little bit. I kind of disagree. I think it kind of actually makes it a little bit heavier. Listen to what Wasp did with KFD, or what Alice Cooper did with Brutal Planet and Dragontown. What Miley Crew did, Generation or what Danzig did with Black Acid Eve. Point being, industrial worked in small doses. This album is a very good album, in my opinion. It's basically Strange Highways Part 2, except it's a little bit doomier and a little more melodic. This album is just great from front to back. We start off with the doomy as hell Industrial Man. Very, very, very Candlemask-esque and Black Sabbath-esque vibes off of this album. Then we get Don't Tell the Kids, which is very, very groovy. Black, people kind of say it's a good track. I think it's kind of filler in my opinion. Hunter of the Heart's very, very heavy. Stay on My Mind, it's doomy, creepy midsection. It's filler in my opinion. It went on for a bit too long. Really, 7 minutes? Come on, Ronnie. Big Sister, very, very doomy and kind of creepy in some ways. Double Monday, very catchy. Golden Rules is also catchy. Dying in America is a bit filler. This Is Your Life, very, very somber. Very somber ballad that I think that's on piano. Very good way to start and very good way to end the album. I give this a B. This is a fantastic album. I would have given it an A- if those 4 songs weren't on there, but fantastic album by the majesty of Ronnie James Dio. Now, next video, I'll be listening to the albums that have been in order. And funnily enough, I asked my brother to see if he could put this in order, and he did. So, number 5 is going to be Risk by Megadeth. Number 6, Elude the Venom and Silence by Morbid Angel. Number 7 is Ronnie James Dio's arch nemesis, Ozzy Osbourne with Black Rain. And Volume 8 will be number 8. So, yeah. That's all I gotta say about this, folks. What do you guys think of these albums? Do you think they're bad, or do you think there's some good gems on them? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and you better join the herd. I'll talk to you guys next video. Peace out.